Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude, where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels. Occasionally, I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from just a regular dude here in my car. Okay, I got quite a few, excuse me. Got quite a few new subscribers right now, and so I thought I'd do just a short little vlog on a little bit about me so that you guys can all learn a little bit about what type of a person I am, or what I've been through and everything. And I thought what I would do is talk about some of my very first jobs that I ever had. Okay, when I was the first job I ever had, I was a sophomore in high school, and I was working for my uncle. And my uncle has had a lot of different restaurants that he's ran and stuff, and that's what it was, is I was a dishwasher and a cook in one of my uncle's restaurants, and that's when I was a sophomore in high school. And it was kind of a really unique restaurant. It was called the Potato Pit. And what it was they would take these baked potatoes and they cut them open, and then they'd stuff them with different stuffings. Like they'd stuff meatloaf in one with cheese and sour cream. Then another one would have seasoned ground beef and bell peppers and mushrooms and sour cream and butter and chives and all that stuff. And I worked for him for part of my sophomore year. And that was in a town called Sandy, Utah, where I was living. But the restaurant was actually in Murray, Utah. And then we moved to what is now called West Valley City, Utah. But back then it was Granger. And I finished out my sophomore year there. And he also had another restaurant in Granger, Utah. The same thing, the Potato Pit, and I worked for him there. I just switched stores. Then, for my junior year of high school, my dad got a job driving truck in central Utah in a town called Gunnison. Now, this town was really, really small. It was the high school was 7th through 12th grade, and there was 240 students in the whole school. There was like 30-something people, I think, in the graduating class. I was a junior in high school there, and I worked at my first job there was at a grocery store called the Happy Service Grocery Store. And I was basically, all I did was bag groceries and take groceries out to people's cars and stuff like that. Then they laid me off because they just didn't have enough work. Like I said, it was a really small town, and there really wasn't enough for me to do. And I didn't work there very long either, only about a month or two. And then I got a job through a friend of mine out from school, and I liked this job quite a bit. It was called Peterson Chevrolet. And what it was a combination car dealership, and they also had a little service station on the front where we would pump gas for people and stuff. And that was a really fun job. We figured out kind of a way to beat the system a little bit working there, because we were allowed to charge gas, and then they would just hold it out of our paycheck. So we would just write out a slip, how many gallons of gas we got, and they'd hold it out of our paycheck. Well, if we were low on money or something, a customer would come in and they'd get $10 worth of gas and give a $10 bill. We'd sometimes pocket that $10 bill, write out a charge slip, however many gallons of gas, $10, sign my name on it, then it would be held out of my paycheck. So it was more or less just an advance on my paycheck. And I also learned, have you guys ever had peanuts in Pepsi? That's my friend that I worked with, Rick Long, I'm going to say his name. He taught me about it. And basically what it is this is when they had the glass bottles of Pepsi that you would get out of the machine. we'd get a glass bottle of Pepsi, and then we had one of those little peanut vending machines in the store or in the service station. You put a quarter in it, get some peanuts out, and just drop them into the top of the Pepsi bottle. I know it sounds weird, but it actually is really good. The salt adds to the flavor in the Pepsi, and it was really good. Also, I would detail cars there and wash cars and stuff like that. And that was, let's see, 1977 and 78 when I was there. And they had a brand new 1978 Corvette limited edition pace car that they got in. And I remember washing it and detailing it and everything. And I was there late one night by myself, and I took the car out for a spin around this little small town of Gunnison, Utah. But I screwed up. When I got back, I had been cleaning the drains out in the wash bay there, and I left one of the grates out of the wash bay. So when I pulled the car in there, the right wheel, boom, went right into the drain. And so I was stuck, and I panicked. I'm like, I think I was 16, 17 years old. And I panicked and didn't know what to do. So I called one of the mechanics at home, and he actually was really cool about it. He came down and put a jack underneath the car, jacked it up. We slid the grate back in there, let it back down, and he had my back on it. He never said nothing. Never did any damage to the car, so that was okay. Just a couple little scratches and stuff on the underneath, and we used touch-up and fixed that and everything, and he was really cool about it. He was a little bit pissed off, but he says, I'm not going to say nothing. Don't worry about it. Just stop screwing around like that. And so that was a fun place to work, and some pretty cool people that I worked with there. Then we moved again because my grandfather passed away. So we moved to Logan, Utah to be closer to my grandmother. And when we moved there, my first job was just a little fast food place called Brandy's Basket, which was like a chicken restaurant. I only worked there for a month or two, not very long at all. And I also worked for Sizzler. I'm sure you've all heard of Sizzler Family Steakhouse. I worked for Sizzler for quite a while as a dishwasher, then as a line cook, and I went back to dishwashing because I get stressed out and get angry pretty easily, and I didn't quite have the temperament for a line cook. I would yell and scream at the servers and stuff. So I went back to the dishwashing. I was a lot happier back there. Then, let's see, I went to work. This is my favorite job. My favorite job I've ever had. I wish if I could go back and just live that forever, I would. It was at another fast food place, and it was called Dee's Drive-In. And it was kind of along the lines of a Burger King or a McDonald's, but they only had them in Utah. And they had specials. When I first started there, they had 19-cent hamburgers on, I think it was Wednesdays. I can't remember for sure. But they had 19-cent hamburgers, and then they went up to 29 cents. And we called them gut bombs. That place was really fun to work at. We had a lot of fun there. My friend was the night manager. So when we would close up, I'd take my guitar there, and we'd like sit in the lobby and sing songs and stuff like that and play around a lot in there. We got into boxing a little bit. We had a couple pairs of boxing gloves, and we'd go down in the basement and have boxing matches and stuff for fun. We never really got too crazy with it, but that place was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun working there. It wasn't like a job. I feel bad for the customers now that I look back on it, because the customer service probably wasn't all that, because we just screw around quite a bit. And let's see, what else? I worked at a meat packing plant for a lot of years. I worked one of the worst jobs I ever had. I worked on the kill floor at a meat packing plant, and I would have to I had to squeegee the blood in a big pit where they would work and basically cut the cows open and everything, and the blood drains onto the floor. I'd have to squeegee the blood into the drain, and the people there would mess with you all the time. I really didn't like the people that I worked with, and I didn't like the job either. The job was terrible. It was disgusting. I fell down in the blood pit one day, got it all over me. Couldn't really leave, couldn't shower, nothing like that. So I ended up getting a rash from the blood. I had nightmares when I would get home from work. My dad woke me up one day. I fell asleep on the couch right when I got home from work, and he woke me up one day and said I was screaming, saying, "All the cows are dead. All the cows are dead. They're all dead." So I only worked there about 3 weeks. I called in sick 8 days in that 3 weeks, and they wouldn't fire me. I was trying to get them to fire me, and they wouldn't do it. So I ended up transferring, and I just went to work in the wash bay, washing the semis and the trailers, and that was a lot better. But that was just a few of the things I did. And then also when I was working in the wash bay, washing the trailers, my parents and my whole family actually moved to Yuma, Arizona. I was involved in a summer theater at the time, so I couldn't leave. So I moved in with a roommate of mine, and then I was planning on going down afterwards. Well, when it finally came time for me to leave and go down there was this kid that I worked with in the tire. He worked in the tire bay. He would change the great big huge tires on the trucks and put new tires on the rims and stuff like that. And he always screwed with me all the time. The guy picked on me relentlessly, because back then I was pretty easygoing and I guess an easy target to pick on and stuff like that. Well, my very last day, I went and clocked out, grabbed the high pressure hose, and I went into the tire bay where he was working, and he was standing up on top. If you could just picture it, he's standing up on top of one of the big tires, and he had a big sledgehammer, and he's like pounding it, trying to break the bead off the tire. And I stepped around the corner, and I shot him with that water, and I drowned him with that pressure hose. Just went up his body, down his body, up his body, down his body. I just drowned him. And I took off and ran out the door, and I was running out into the parking lot, and it was quite a ways. The parking lot was huge there. Really, really big plant. And as I'm going out to my car, I stopped running, and I walking along, and I was kind of laughing to myself, and all of a sudden I heard something behind me, and I looked, and he was running after me with a big bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket of water. And I took off, and I made it to my car and got in my car and drove off, and he tossed the bucket of water onto my car, a big deal, and I gave him the bird as I drove off and was laughing at him and everything. That was just the best karma I've ever been able to dish out in my whole life. That made my life to get him back like that. Now that I look back on it, he actually really wasn't a bad guy. He was just kind of, I don't know how to explain it, just messing with me. But I got him back. And that's just a little bit about me. I've had a lot of other jobs and different things like that. That was when I was probably about 22 years old. And then I moved to Yuma, Arizona, worked for my dad at his Kentucky Fried Chicken store. And that's just a little bit about me. Well, that's about it for today, except I want to mention one thing. Today is election day. Whatever way I usually don't get political, and I'm not going to here either, but whatever way the election goes, let's be civil. Let's not, no riots, nothing like that. I know it's going to happen regardless, but I mean, peaceful protest, that's fine, but let's not riot. Destroy businesses and stuff, people who have nothing to do with it. Anyways, have a nice day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.